Good morning, fifth grade. Um, Yesterday, supposedly, I don't know what day you guys do these things, but I'm going off of the fact that you do everything the same day that I do them. So, yesterday, you finished your test for chapter 4. And now we are going to be moving on to chapter 3. Yeah, 100% my mistake. I just started doing chapter 4. But luckily, you know, we can pick and choose. We can move around. It's not a big deal. I don't know if you can hear my dog tapping around in the background. She's cute. So anyway, we are on lesson 1 of chapter 3, which is on page 108 in your books. And we are talking about physical structures of living things. Skeletons, bark, skin, stuff like that. All right, so at the very top it says, the skin of the glass frog is very translucent, probably hence the name glass frog. Circle the parts of the frog's body that you can see through its skin. So if I look, I could definitely see like its veins, for sure. Yeah, I could definitely see veins. If you could see more than me, that makes sense because you're young and have beautiful, fresh eyes, right? Word to know is exoskeleton. So let's just get into it. All right. Physical structures. Some trees shed their bark as a normal part of growth. The tough outer covering of bark peels away so that new tree growth can expand outward. In a similar way, snakes shed their skin as they grow. All living organisms have structures that help them grow, get energy, and stay healthy. Sometimes structures can be very similar even though the organisms are different. Because, like a tree and a snake, right? They both shed their skin. Oftentimes, physical structures can be very different even if they do similar jobs. For an example, an animal egg may be very delicate and may need to be hidden from predators. By contrast, many plant seeds have tough outer coverings and easily survive being swallowed by an animal. The seeds develop inside tasty fruits that animals like to eat, and the seeds benefit because an animal can carry them to places where they may grow better for them to poop it out. Fun stuff. Don't do number 1. Structures for support. Okay. Some animals, such as fish and humans, have internal skeletons. An internal skeleton supports the body. It also protects organs such as the brain and the heart. Other animals have exoskeletons, which are hard skeletons on the outside of their bodies. Exoskeletons give structure and protection. Plants have stems that stretch towards sunlight and can hold the weight of their leaves and fruit. Some plants, such as trees, have wood in their stems and branches for additional support. All right, so number 2, we're going to do this one. It says many stems hold leaves high. Higher leaves are more likely to get sunlight. How is this helpful to a plant? Now I'm thinking it's a good thing that we did the other one first. No, we didn't do. No, sorry. That was a different grade. Did you do photosynthesis? Yes, you did. Yeah. I just kind of gave away the answer, didn't I? Right. Skull is like a strong cage, protects the brain. Insects such as the cicada have a hard exoskeleton. In order to grow, insects usually need to shed their old exoskeleton and grow new ones. Again, I don't like the ones with those. Draw some organs that are protected by the rib cage. That was a hint. And there's another hint inside the paragraph. Ones that are like incredibly vital for sustaining life, right? All right, structures for reproduction. Living things can make other living things too, similar to themselves. This process is called reproduction. Many plants reproduce using flowers. For example, when pollen from a cherry flower is carried to another cherry flower, the receiving flower becomes fertilized and grows into a cherry with a seed inside. The seed has a source of nutrition and protective covering. If the seed lands on good soil, a new cherry plant may grow. Animals reproduce in different ways. For example, some female fish lay eggs on underwater rocks. Then the male fertilizes the egg, and the organism grows inside the egg, which has a source of nutrition and a protective cover. In other animals, such as mammals, males have structures to fertilize eggs within the body of the female. Yep. All right, so read the steps of flower fertilization below. Pollen leaves the stamen of a flower. Pollen lands on the pistil of another flower, not the same one. A pollen tube grows from the pollen grain and a sperm cell travels down the tube. The sperm cell reaches the egg cell contained in the ovary and fertilization occurs. The egg goes on to become a seed. So, where is the seed going to develop? We've just read it in here. It says the egg will develop contained in the... All right. Let's skip number 6. Don't need to do that one. All right. And structures for respiration and circulation. For us, those would be our heart and lungs, right? Respiration would be breathing, and circulation would be the heart. Okay? In order for plants and animals to live, they need to exchange gases with their environments. Animals such as turtles and humans take in air through the mouth and nose and breathe using lungs. Some other animals, such as insects, take air through structures called spiracles. These are holes inside the insect's body. Most fish take in oxygen from water through their gills. Lungs, spiracles, and gills are all ways animals can get oxygen. A spiracle often allows oxygen to go directly to the body tissue. But with lungs and gills, oxygen entering the animal is transported through a circulatory system in the body's cells. Plants have structures that are similar to spiracles on insects. These microscopic holes are called stomata. Try to say that 5 times fast. Stomata, and are located on the leaves of the plant. Carbon dioxide from the air enters the plant through the stomata. During photosynthesis, a plant uses energy from the sun and carbon dioxide to make sugar or food. Oxygen is also produced as it exits through the stoma. And so, number 7 up here, it says, draw a picture, yay, drawing, of another animal, or of one other animal that breathes using lungs, and a picture of an animal that breathes with gills. And explain your choices. I don't think you should have to explain, because you know what animals use lungs and which ones have gills. Fun fact about sharks, right? They constantly have to be moving. I think you guys probably know this, but sharks, because their gills don't like flap, like on a goldfish, because they're just kind of like little slits on the side of its body, it has to always keep moving so that water can pass over its gills to get oxygen into its body. Pretty neat. Some plants also have a circulatory system. These plants are called vascular plants. Tissues in the vascular plants, or the vascular system, act similar to your blood vessels. The plant uses the vascular tissue to transport sugar made in the leaves to the roots for storage. We don't need to do number 8. Those 2 structures. Yeah, we're good. Those are all the questions for today. So, basically, thing to take away is we're all pretty different, but at the same time, we all share some very similar traits for, living and growing and, living and growing, right? It's early, you guys. Anyway, I hope you had a great test yesterday. There is no response for today. I don't have a special science question for you today. But let's see. Instead of that, we will do a fun question. So, let's see. What has been the best thing about hanging out at home most of the time? What's been the best thing about the most positive experience from this coronavirus stay-at-home thing for you guys. For me, it's been that I finally convinced myself and Mr. Wheaton to do a lot of landscape projects, so stuff around my yard, because my house was, so old people lived in it before, and they did nothing in the yard, and it was like a jungle. And so now we've been trying to make it not like a jungle, and it's been good. It gets ugly, but then it gets a little better. So anyway, what's been the best thing for you about staying at home? All right, we'll see you later. Bye, guys.